Imagine trying to find a friend's house in a city where no buildings have numbers. No house number, no street address, no easy way to tell one building from another. If you wanted to send a letter, call for help, or visit someone, you would have to rely on landmarks and detailed descriptions. Surprisingly, for most of human history, this was exactly how people lived. Today, house numbers are so common that we rarely think about them. Every home, apartment, office, and shop usually has a number attached to it. It feels natural. But where did this system come from? Who decided that buildings should have numbers? And how did a simple idea become a global standard? To understand the story, we need to travel back several centuries. In ancient cities, people identified locations using landmarks rather than numbers. A person might live near a temple, beside a market, or next to a well-known tree. Directions often sounded like the third house after the church, or the building opposite the town square. While this worked in small communities, it became increasingly difficult as cities grew larger and more crowded. As populations expanded during the Middle Ages, governments and city administrators faced a serious challenge. They needed better ways to organize urban areas. Tax collection became more complicated. Military recruitment became harder. Delivering official messages took longer. Authorities realized that identifying every building clearly would make administration much easier. One of the earliest known attempts at house numbering appeared in parts of Europe during the 15th and 16th centuries. However, these systems were often temporary and inconsistent. Some cities numbered houses only for tax purposes. Others changed the numbers frequently. There was no universal method. The real breakthrough came during the 18th century. In the 1700s, European governments became more centralized and organized. Rulers wanted accurate records of their citizens and properties. One of the most influential developments occurred in the Austrian Empire under the rule of Empress Maria Theresa. In 1770, officials introduced a numbering system to help identify buildings more efficiently. The primary goal was not helping people find addresses. Instead, it was administrative control. Authorities wanted to know exactly where people lived for taxation and military conscription. Every house received a number, making government record-keeping much easier. The idea quickly proved useful. Soon, other European regions began adopting similar systems. Cities discovered that numbering buildings simplified many tasks. Mail delivery became faster. Census records became more accurate. Emergency services could locate buildings more easily. Around the same time, cities like Paris and London were experiencing rapid growth. Narrow streets and crowded neighborhoods made navigation difficult. House numbers helped create order out of urban chaos. As postal systems improved during the 18th and 19th centuries, house numbering became even more important. Before numbered addresses, delivering letters often depended on local knowledge. Postal workers needed to know exactly where people lived. With numbered houses and named streets, mail could travel more efficiently across cities and even across countries. Different places developed different numbering methods. In many cities, odd numbers were placed on one side of the street while even numbers were placed on the other. This system made it easier for visitors and postal workers to locate buildings quickly. Some cities started numbering from the city center outward. Others numbered houses according to their position along a street. Certain regions even experimented with unique systems based on districts or neighborhoods. By the 19th century, house numbering became a standard feature of urban planning in much of Europe and North America. As colonial powers expanded around the world, they carried these administrative practices with them. Gradually, house numbering spread to cities across Asia, Africa, South America, and other regions. The Industrial Revolution accelerated this process. Growing cities needed efficient infrastructure. Governments required accurate records. Businesses depended on reliable addresses. House numbers became essential for modern life. In the 20th century, the importance of addresses increased even further. Telephone directories, utility services, insurance records, voter registration, and emergency response systems all relied on accurate house numbers. Imagine calling an ambulance without a proper address system. Imagine ordering goods without a delivery location. Imagine navigating a city of millions without numbered buildings. Modern society depends heavily on these seemingly simple numbers. Today, technology has added another layer to location identification. GPS coordinates can pinpoint almost anywhere on Earth. Digital maps can guide us directly to a destination. Yet house numbers remain incredibly important. They provide a simple, universally understood way to identify buildings. Interestingly, some cities continue to use unusual numbering systems. In certain places, numbers reflect the order in which buildings were constructed rather than their position on a street. In others, numbering patterns follow historical traditions that have survived for centuries. Despite these differences, the basic purpose remains the same: helping people locate places accurately and efficiently. What began as a government tool for taxation and administration evolved into one of the most important organizational systems in human civilization. House numbers quietly support communication, transportation, commerce, emergency services, and everyday life. The next time you look at the number on your home, remember that it represents centuries of urban development, government planning, and social organization. It may seem like a small detail, but without house numbering, the modern world would be far more confusing, inefficient, and difficult to navigate. A simple number on a wall tells a remarkable story of how humanity learned to bring order to growing cities and connect millions of people through a shared system of location and identity.